Throughout history, anthrax has been a perplexing disease. First, we arrive in ancient Egypt, the first to discover this plaguing illness. There, anthrax is believed to be slaughtering their livestock, as it not had yet advanced to be killing humans.
Next, we skip a couple hundred years to Germany, where in 1876, Robert Koch made his world-famous discovery that anthrax was actually a bacteria, after thousands of people become infected with it.
Later on, in 1937, Japan develops anthrax to become a biological weapon by freeze-drying the spores through a long process and creating it into a powdery white substance.
Thankfully, by the 1990s, there was an official vaccine approved by the FDA to defend the body of the bacteria.
More recently, in the United States of America, around the time of 9/11 attacks, there was an onslaught of letters mailed containing the powdered form of anthrax, and many not knowing what it was were killed after inhaling the deadly spores.
Today, anthrax mainly affects the agricultural areas of the world, like farmers, as it is most prevalent in livestock such as deer and wild game. But the bacterium is common in Europe, Asia, Africa, and parts of Central America. Hello and welcome to the Monica Show. Today we're going to talk about anthrax. No, not the band, the disease. So today I brought in a special guest. She is a PhD in pathology. Let's now welcome Dr. Tina Turner. Hello, audience. So recently there's been an outbreak of this disease and widespread panic. So we've decided to inform you about it. Care to explain about this?
Well, first you should know anthrax is a bacteria, and its medical term is Bacillus anthracis, and it derives from the Latin root word bacilli, which means raw sugar. Also, it's gram-positive, which means it has a thick peptide-like layer.
What is a peptide-like layer?
Just a scientific term for sugar protein in the cell wall.
Anyways, how does this bacteria affect the body?
When it enters the body and finds the environment it needs, it moves to the lymph nodes. From there, it begins to multiply and produce a toxin that kills human cells and results in hemorrhaging, drop of blood pressure, and ultimately death.
So I've heard that there are 3 types of this bacteria. Care to explain?
Yeah, the first type is cutaneous, and it occurs when contaminated skin of the animal is in contact with an open wound or a cut. The second type is gastrointestinal, and it's when you eat an undercooked piece of meat that's been infected by the anthrax. And the third is inhalation, and that's common right now because it's being sent through mail.
Which one has a higher survival rate?
The highest survival rate is for cutaneous, and about 80% of people survive that. Next is gastrointestinal, and about 40 to 75% survive that. And the most deadly is inhalation, and only 25% of people can survive it.
Interesting. And how can one be treated with this debilitating illness?
Well, there are different forms of the treatment for the different types of anthrax. But overall, the standard treatment for the anthrax is a 60-day antibiotic cycle, such as ciprofloxacin or doxycycline. Which single antibiotic or combination of antibiotics will be most effective for you depends on your age, your health, the type of anthrax, and other factors.
So we have a special treat for you today, audience. Dr. Thomas and I created a PSA about anthrax. Let's roll the tape. Anthrax is usually spread in the form of a spore, which is a dormant form that certain bacteria take when they have no food supply, like in animals. Anthrax is generally spread in a cutaneous, inhalation, and gastrointestinal way. Most persons who are exposed to anthrax become ill within 1 week, but it can take as long as 42 days for inhalation.
The most common anthrax infection is cutaneous. The cutaneous infection requires a rake in the skin. Generally, the first symptoms include itching where the skin has been exposed. The bump that occurs from the rash looks like bug bites at first. Then a large boil or sore appears. The sore becomes covered by a black scab. If not treated, the infection can spread to the lymph nodes and bloodstream. Inhalation symptoms include fever, fatigue, malaise, and a cough or chest pain. High fever, rapid pulse, and severe difficulty breathing follow in 2 to 5 days. Inhalation anthrax is often fatal. Gastrointestinal symptoms include fever, severe abdominal pain, loose watery bowel movements, bloody diarrhea, and vomiting with blood.
Hopefully now everyone is well informed about anthrax. Any closing statements you'd like to make, Doctor?
If you ever find a suspicious package with a white powder on it, leave it alone and call a poison control center right away.
Okay, well that's all the time we have today, audience. Let's thank Dr. Thomas for coming in today. For further information, please go to www.cdc.gov. Next week, we'll discuss botulism. What is it? And remember, if you don't know what's up, don't open it up. I'm Monica Anthony.
And I'm Tina Thomas.
And have a good week, Connecticut. Tina.
I don't know. Suspicious.
Hopefully now everyone is informed about anthrax. Any closing statements you'd like to make, Dr. Thomas?
If you ever find a substance, no, wait, that's wrong.
Stop it. Turn it off, Melanie. Is it starting?
Yeah.
Oh man! No, you tell me when it stops. Hopefully everyone is now informed about anthrax. Any closing arguments? Okay, Melanie, stop it. Hopefully everyone's informed about this. Darn it, I was thinking about bloopers. Turn it off, Melanie. So hopefully this PSA is informing you about anthrax. Dr. Thomas, any closing arguments you'd like to make?
Doctor!
This isn't a debate.
I don't realize that. Oh,
This is a
stop
sport.
it. Did you stop it? Oh.
That's just hard.
Wait.